Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something real today. Men deeply respect women who know their worth, who carry themselves with confidence, and who understand how powerful it is to set standards in their lives. See, respect isn't just something you demand, it's something you attract when you live by rules that show you value yourself first. Every man out here knows when he's dealing with a woman who is strong in her principles, and when he sees that he has no choice but to respect her. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something that will never change no matter what era we're living in or how much the world evolves. Men deeply respect women who respect themselves. Now, I'm not just talking about carrying yourself with confidence or dressing a certain way. I'm talking about that deep inner belief that says, I am valuable, I am worthy, and I will not accept less than I deserve. See, self-respect is not just a word. It's a standard, it's a shield, it's the foundation of how a woman moves through life. And when a man encounters a woman who truly has that, he recognizes instantly that he cannot play games with her, he cannot mistreat her, and he cannot underestimate her, because she has already set the rules by the way she carries herself. A woman with self-respect does not need to scream it from the rooftops. It shows in how she speaks, in how she walks into a room, in how she responds when people test her boundaries. She is firm but graceful, strong yet feminine, and she makes it very clear without even saying a word that she knows her worth. Men can sense it because men are naturally wired to test, to push limits, to see where the lines are drawn. But when a man meets a woman who already knows her lines and sticks to them, he realizes he's dealing with someone on another level. And let me tell you something, every man may not admit it out loud, but he admires that strength because deep down men want to know where they stand. See, here's the truth. If a woman doesn't respect herself, how can she expect a man to respect her? If she allows herself to be treated any kind of way, if she accepts lies, if she tolerates disrespect, then she is teaching that man how to treat her. People will only do what you allow them to do. And that's why self-respect is not just important, it's necessary. When a woman sets those boundaries, when she says, this is what I deserve, and I will not settle for less, she is building a fence around her peace, her heart, and her dignity. She is teaching the world that she is not desperate for attention, not starving for validation, not willing to compromise her values just to keep someone by her side. Men respect women who can walk away when something does not align with their standards. That's one of the most powerful acts of self-respect there is. The ability to say, I love you, I care about you, but if you can't treat me the way I need to be treated, I will let you go. That kind of strength shakes a man to his core because it tells him she is not bound by fear. She is not trapped by loneliness. She is not chained to the idea that her worth comes from whether or not a man stays. Her worth is within herself. And when a man sees that, he can't help but respect it. And let me break it down even more. A woman with self-respect doesn't just set boundaries in relationships. She sets them in every area of her life. In her friendships, she doesn't allow toxic people to drain her energy. In her career, she doesn't let people take advantage of her hard work. In her family, she stands firm in her values even if it means disappointing others. That consistency builds a reputation. People know they can't just walk all over her. And men in particular respect that because it takes courage to stand alone sometimes. Self-respect also affects the way a woman carries herself in public and private. She doesn't lower her standards just to be liked. She doesn't compromise her values just to fit in, and she doesn't sell herself short just to get ahead. She understands that temporary approval is not worth long-term regret. Men are drawn to that authenticity because, let's be honest, anyone can act a certain way to get attention, but it takes strength to live by principles even when it's not popular. A man sees that and knows he's looking at someone rare, someone valuable, someone unforgettable. Now, let me also say this self-respect is not arrogance, it's not pride, and it's not about looking down on others. It's about understanding your value without needing to prove it constantly. It's about carrying yourself with quiet confidence. A woman with self-respect doesn't need to broadcast her worth because it shines naturally. When she walks into a room, people feel it. When she speaks, people listen. When she says no, people respect it. And men, whether they admit it or not, admire that deeply because it shows discipline, self-love, and courage. Think about it. Men are used to certain behaviors. They're used to certain patterns. But when a man meets a woman who stands firm, who doesn't tolerate disrespect, who has no problem saying, that doesn't work for me, he has to level up if he wants to be with her. And the truth is, Good men love that challenge. Good men are inspired by a woman who pushes them to be better, who doesn't let them slide into laziness or disrespect, who makes them rise to meet her standards. That's not intimidation. That's admiration. That's respect. So when I tell you men deeply respect women who live by self-respect, I mean it in every sense. It shapes how you are treated. It determines the kind of men you attract, and it sets the foundation for healthy, lasting love. Respect starts with you. The moment you set that tone for your life, the right man will recognize it, honor it, and never want to lose it. Ladies and gentlemen, let me break something down that a lot of people don't understand. Men respect women who communicate clearly, who speak their truth with honesty, and who don't waste time with games or confusion. See, communication is not just about words. It's about intention, it's about clarity, and it's about having the courage to say what you really feel without hiding behind mixed signals or silent expectations. A woman who knows how to express herself directly is a woman who earns deep admiration because she doesn't just talk. She connects, she makes herself understood, and she builds a foundation of trust with her words. Men notice this right away. They know when a woman is being straightforward versus when she's holding back, sugarcoating, or playing around. And let me tell you, most men respect it when a woman says exactly what's on her mind because it makes things clear. It leaves no room for guessing, no room for assumptions, and no room for confusion. Now, I'm not saying you have to be harsh or cold with your words, but I am saying that honesty, delivered with firmness and grace, is one of the most powerful traits a woman can have. When a woman is clear about her expectations, her feelings, and her boundaries, men understand her, and when they understand her, they respect her. See, a lot of relationships fall apart not because people stop loving each other, but because they stop communicating clearly. One person assumes the other knows what they mean. One person expects the other to read their mind, and little by little, misunderstandings pile up until the whole foundation cracks. But when a woman communicates directly, when she says, "This is what I need, this is how I feel, this is what matters to me," she eliminates all that confusion. She gives the man the opportunity to meet her where she stands, and a good man will always respect that honesty, even if he doesn't always like what he hears. Let's be real, ladies, men are not mind readers. If you want them to know something, you've got to tell them. If you're hurt, say it. If you're disappointed, speak up. If you need clarity, ask for it. When you hold things in, when you expect him to figure it out without you saying it, you set yourself up for frustration. But when you express yourself openly, you're showing self-respect and respect for him at the same time because you're giving him the chance to understand and respond. That's what communication is, a two-way street built on truth. And here's another truth: direct communication also builds trust. Men respect women who are upfront because it tells them, I can rely on her words. I don't have to guess her intentions. I don't have to wonder what she really means. That consistency makes a man feel secure. And when he feels secure, he respects you more. He respects you because you are giving him what every man values but rarely admits: clarity. Clarity is peace. Clarity is strength. Clarity keeps a relationship alive and healthy. Now, don't confuse direct communication with constant criticism. There's a big difference. A woman who communicates clearly knows how to deliver her truth without tearing someone down. She knows how to express herself without shouting, blaming, or belittling. She understands that the goal of communication is not to win an argument, but to build understanding. And let me tell you, men notice that balance. They notice when a woman can be firm without being cruel, when she can be honest without being disrespectful. That balance is powerful, and it commands respect. Think about it. Anybody can hold things in until they explode. Anybody can avoid difficult conversations because they're uncomfortable. But it takes courage to face issues head on, to sit down and say, we need to talk about this, to lay your feelings out on the table with maturity and honesty. That's the kind of woman men don't forget because she makes communication safe, she makes honesty normal, and she sets a tone that says, in this space we deal with the truth, not with games. Men also admire women who can say no clearly. You would be surprised how many people struggle with that little word. They say yes when they want to say no, they agree just to keep the peace, and they end up resentful. But a woman who communicates directly knows that saying no is not rude, it's respectful. It respects her own boundaries, and it respects the other person by not leading them on. Men respect women who say no when they mean no, because it tells them she is strong enough to stand by her words, and that strength is attractive. And let me tell you this, clear communication is not only about what you say, it's also about how you listen. A woman who communicates with clarity is not just talking all the time, she's also listening, paying attention, and making space for the other person to be heard. That balance creates mutual respect, and men admire that deeply. Because when a man feels like his words matter, when he feels heard, he is far more likely to respect and honor the woman who gives him that space. At the end of the day, communication is one of the most important skills a woman can have in every part of her life. Whether it's in relationships, in her career, or in her family, being able to speak directly, honestly, and respectfully sets her apart. It shows strength, it shows intelligence, it shows maturity. And when men encounter that, they can't help but respect it. They know they're dealing with someone real, someone authentic, someone who won't waste their time with half-truths or hidden agendas. So when I say men deeply respect women who communicate with clarity, honesty, and directness, I mean it. That trait is rare. It's powerful and it's unforgettable. It makes a woman stand out. It makes her relationship stronger. And it makes men admire her not just for what she says, but for the kind of person she is. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something that every man notices but may never put into words. Men deeply respect women who can carry themselves with emotional strength, who know how to stay calm when life gets hard, and who don't let every storm shake their spirit. See, beauty can turn heads, intelligence can spark interest, but it is emotional stability that truly makes a woman unforgettable. Because in a world full of pressure, noise, and chaos, a woman who can hold her peace is like a rock, like a safe place, like a force that inspires respect from anyone who crosses her path. Men watch how women react in tough situations. They see how she handles disappointment, betrayal, challenges, or stress. And when a man sees a woman who doesn't lose herself in the chaos, who doesn't allow her emotions to take complete control, he instantly knows she is cut from a different cloth. This isn't about suppressing emotions, because emotions are natural and human. But it is about not allowing emotions to dictate every action or every decision. A woman who can feel deeply yet still respond with wisdom shows a level of maturity that men respect at the highest level. Life is not easy for anyone. Problems come, heartbreaks happen, plans fall apart, and people disappoint you. But emotional strength is what allows a woman to walk through the fire without letting the fire consume her. It's what allows her to remain kind even when others are cruel, to remain steady even when things around her are falling apart, and to remain focused on her values even when temptation is calling her in every direction. Men respect that because it is rare. Not everyone can hold their ground when life shakes them. But when a man sees a woman who does, he knows he is standing in front of someone extraordinary. And let's be honest, there is something powerful about calmness. Calmness is not weakness. It is strength under control. A woman who stays calm in an argument shows that she values understanding over chaos. A woman who stays calm when insulted shows that she will not let someone else's behavior control her spirit. A woman who stays calm in crisis shows that she has wisdom and perspective beyond the moment. Men admire that because calmness brings stability, and every man, whether he admits it or not, craves stability in his life. It is that calmness that makes him feel safe, respected, and drawn to her because she is not easily shaken. Emotional strength is also about resilience. It's about how quickly you bounce back after life knocks you down. A woman who has strength in her spirit will cry if she needs to. She will feel the pain, but she will get back up stronger than before. She doesn't let failure define her. She doesn't let heartbreak destroy her. And she doesn't let rejection make her bitter. She turns pain into lessons, challenges into growth, and storms into testimonies. Men see that resilience and they respect it deeply because it takes a certain kind of heart to keep going when everything inside of you wants to quit. Now, let me point something out. Emotional strength doesn't mean pretending to be perfect. It doesn't mean never showing vulnerability. In fact, real strength is knowing when to be vulnerable and when to be firm. It's knowing how to share your feelings in a healthy way without letting them consume you. It's knowing how to lean on others when you need to, but still standing on your own when it matters most. Men admire this balance because it shows depth. It shows that a woman is not hiding behind walls, but she is also not controlled by every wave of emotion. She can feel deeply and still stand tall. That's unforgettable. When a woman has this kind of strength, she creates an atmosphere around her. People feel peace in her presence. People feel grounded when they're near her. Men notice that Because not every woman has that energy. Some people bring chaos wherever they go, but a woman with emotional calm brings comfort, and that comfort is priceless. In a relationship, a man will always respect a woman who can handle problems with patience instead of panic, who can guide conversations instead of fueling arguments, who can inspire solutions instead of adding to the problem. That kind of woman changes the way a man sees life, and he will honor her for it. And let's not forget, emotional strength makes a woman stand out in today's world because so many people react to everything instantly. We live in a world of constant reaction. Every little thing triggers someone. Every disagreement turns into a fight. Every obstacle makes people give up. But a woman who can stand strong, who can stay calm, who can control her emotions instead of being controlled by them, she shines in a way that cannot be ignored. Men respect her because she represents something rare: discipline, wisdom, and power wrapped in grace. So ladies, when I say men respect emotional strength, I mean they respect the woman who doesn't let anger steal her joy, who doesn't let bitterness poison her love, who doesn't let fear stop her progress. They respect the woman who chooses patience over panic, who chooses wisdom over reaction, who chooses peace over drama. That woman is unforgettable because she carries a strength that no storm can shake and no man can overlook.